I've been thinking about it on my own and all morning. Heavy on your shoulders, over and over. I'd settle for those voices.
We're hearing from quite a few people about quite a few things, which is cool. Good morning, hello. We are here. Here's Hunter doing some laundry, buddy. What are you doing?
Okay.
Say hi.
I will.
Can I have a kiss? Kiss. No, me here. Can I have a kiss?
Oh!
Hello, good morning. We are here. We're just making some lunch. We're just gonna have super simple today. Leftover pasta sauce. Grant makes epic pasta sauces. We didn't add any seeds or anything into this one because we didn't have any. Got to do some shopping, so I need to get some chia. And hemp seeds. But yeah, we're just at home this morning. Grant has called me with a couple of updates. He has had the building inspection come. We've had our the site inspection done for finance, so we should hear by this afternoon if that all goes through. And it's on, buddy, so be careful, okay?
Okay.
That all should be approved by this afternoon. And plumbing has been organised, so we pretty much, Hunty and I are just at home. We're going to do, well, I'm going to give Hunty some lunch, and then I'm going to put him down for a snooze, and I'm going to follow up with some people about work, which will be good. And yeah, I'm going to give Lulu a buzz. She is at home today, I think, so give her a call and see how she's going. My journey to minimalism. So Hunter is currently asleep, so I thought I'd just pop in here because I'm working in here today, so I thought it would be nice to just kind of share with you what I've done so far. So basically I'll show you my shelves. This is my shirts shelf, so I've got like some jumpers, some longer sleeves and some singlet tops that I guess aren't sort of like all workout gear singlet tops. I do have a few, like maybe one or two longer sleeve, like warmer things in the laundry. And down here we've got singlet tops, like workout singlet tops, one pair of professional pants, some happy pants, and then some exercise pants, some more happy pants and a skirt. So yeah, in the laundry, well actually today I'm wearing my one pair of jeans, and in the laundry I guess I've got a few other items, but that's pretty much it. So these are my two shelves. These are Grant's shelves that he's obviously started packing, so it's a bit of crap. But yeah, these used to be full for me, so just to give you an idea about, like, when I talk about my wardrobe, kind of where I've come from. And then up here is my hanging section. So I've packed away like a few kind of warmer things. Maybe I would say I've packed away 4 items. Yeah, so this basically, like, this is Grant's side. He's still culling. It used to be full from there all the way like behind the door with my stuff. So that's just to give you an idea of like how much stuff I've gotten rid of. Like how that has happened was I was watching a vlog on minimalism, and they were talking about that Japanese method of kind of figuring out what it is that you want in your wardrobe, and they were saying that, like, if you hold on to it and it gives you happiness, then you should keep it. But I guess for me that hasn't quite worked, because I want to go a little bit deeper than that, I guess, and really figure out like what my happiness means to me. So for example, like if I held like one of my favorite pairs of jeans from when I was younger, I used to go out to rave. So I had a pair of jeans, they were flares, and I'd sewn some fluffy stars onto them and I loved them, but they were like size 12 or 14 maybe, so it made me happy because it made me remember those days. But I guess on a more surface level, sort of beneath that, it made me unhappy because I was holding on to clothes that represented a memory. So that is a bit of a weight, to carry. Yeah, so that's kind of how I started that whole journey. I went from that then to thinking three things. I would hold an item of clothing, and I would say, does it make me feel loved? Does it make me feel good? And do I feel comfortable? And that's basically how I got to that much clothes in my wardrobe, because so much of what I had in there didn't fit, or I would be waiting to lose weight to fit into it, or I just never wore it, you know, but I was holding on to it because it was attached to a memory, which is fine, you know, that's fine. But for me, I don't want a wardrobe full of memories anymore, and that's just me personally, you know. And since starting to get rid of stuff, I feel so much lighter. I really do. Like, I feel like I'm kind of discovering who I am underneath all of the memories. It's almost like if you have clothes in your wardrobe, I almost got anxious that if I got rid of the clothes, I would get rid of the memory. But actually, life is a beautiful thing, and our minds are beautiful things on their own without material items. So that's how I'm kind of feeling, and that's where I'm at. I'm feeling like I'm getting closer to myself because I'm getting rid of those like top sort of surface layers of me and what makes up me. So I'd show you, oh, and something else that's a bit exciting that I've started. This is the start of a Tasmania pile. So stuff that, because we're going to take our cars over on the boat, and then bulk of our stuff will be going in a container. So this is like essentials that we must have when we arrive at the house. So I've got my favourite little hanging sundial, which has little chimes attached to it, and I've just loved this. I think I bought this in Canberra and I love it. My incense burner. Incense will be going on immediately when we arrive. My favourite scarf, because it will probably be getting a bit chilly in Tassie when we arrive. Boys' 2 raincoats, our favourite blanket. This blanket I actually gave Grant when he was in hospital, because he was in hospital for about 12 months, give or take a few months. And this was really lovely, super duper warm for him because hospitals get really cold. So that's our favourite. That will be coming for sure. Then I've got just the boys' hats and their beanies, and some DVDs, because we shall take the portable DVD player with us, because once we get to Launceston, it's actually about a 4 or 5 hour drive down to Gardiner's Bay where we're living. A nighttime sail they call it, and we shall go to sleep, and when we wake up we shall be in Launceston, south to Gardiner's Bay. So we'll have the portable DVD player with us, and some activity books and all of that jazz. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that everything comes at a cost, and that's what I'm sort of beginning to understand at a deeper level, I guess. Obviously I've always known that everything comes at a cost, but now my mind has sort of expanded into the areas of, you know, not only financial cost on myself, but financial cost on others. So when I buy something, what is the ripple effect of what I have just bought? And I guess when I start to think about, you know, the larger picture, like it's not just me, which is, you know, that is such in our human nature. You know, we are intelligent beings, we are our own people, we are, you know, taught independence to a certain level, and free thinking to a certain level. but you know, there's not really a focus on the wider picture, and that, you know, is a big part of how we live our lives, and that's kind of how we get on, I guess, as a society. In saying that, we obviously, you know, are empathetic towards others, and we have compassion, and we have, you know, a sense of community and strength, which is amazing. That is also an incredible thing about the world that we live in, and that's something that I love about the world that I live in. My eating has changed so much. Going vegan isn't, to me, just about putting certain foods into my body. It's actually opened my mind, and I feel like, in a way, veganism has awakened me, I guess. And again, this is all just my personal story and how I'm feeling, but in a way, veganism has liberated me. It has liberated me. My mind is stronger and more open than it ever has been, and also, in a way, I feel like veganism has led me to understanding the world that I live in and appreciating the world that I live in, and, you know, coming to terms with the impact that I have on the world. You know, being more interested in waste-free living, and sustainable living and minimalism. And I guess also there I draw a parallel between minimalism and, you know, an inner child. As I've spoken about in other videos, Harper has had quite a bit of trouble in his early years, I guess. And I can speak about that in another video. But it's sort of, you know, we became aware of we were having difficulties, I guess, and struggles when he was around 3, I guess, is when we really sort of became aware of it. And I guess, you know, a lot of people just kind of say, oh, he's just, you know, it's terrible twos, or he's a 3-nager, or that's just, you know, that's just parenting. So it's really hard to actually follow your gut and to acknowledge that pull that you have, you know, as a parent inside you that's saying something is just not quite right, or we're not coping. And the fact that you're not coping should be enough in itself to reach out and access support, which is what we did. And we're really lucky to have an amazing village of support and family around us. But I guess, you know, I've sort of taken a real interest in child development and trying to understand the world through Harper's eyes. And actually my brother Tristan put it really well. He doesn't have children, he travels the world, but he seems, I think, you know, maybe he understands Harper on a level that I don't, because he still has that freedom of access to his inner child and his freedom in mobility and his playfulness and creativity and, you know, his wonder. But he said to me that maybe sometimes it'd be good to try to not get so angry at Harper, but to actually try and understand his reality. You know, if I think that he's getting upset and I say to him, Harper, you're just being silly, maybe try a different strategy of, you know, understanding where he's at. Even if I think it is silly that he didn't want, you know, banana in his Nutri-Grain. And I'm in a hurry and I've got adult things to worry about and I've got responsibilities, I've got to get somewhere, so you need to have that banana in your Nutri-Grain. To actually, you know, understand that his world is valid, his world is real, and, you know, he has human rights as a child. Just because I'm a parent, because I'm bigger, doesn't give me the right to devalue or, you know, minimize what is happening for him through his eyes. So I guess, getting back to minimalism, you know, I've tried to sort of engage with more of my right side of the brain, you know, less logical, strategic, more sort of creative and cosmic and wondrous, and open to life. I've tried to engage that side of my brain a bit more, not only in order to understand Harper and, you know, connect with him on multiple levels, not just on a parenting authoritative level, but also, you know, that in itself has helped me with minimalism, I guess. Children don't care what they're wearing. They don't care what they're wearing. They don't feel inadequate They don't feel like they have to put on a certain shirt to make people believe that they are more valid, more responsible. I'm trying to say without rambling, even though I have already rambled. And that's what I'm trying to do, you know. I think I'm just trying to care less actually about what the society and culture that I live in is dictating to me is important, even though obviously it's not a dictatorship. But there are so many messages, there are so many sensory messages that are being sent to us every single day. We are surrounded by advertising, we are surrounded by marketing and messages, and, you know, the narrative that people put through stories, you know, around gender, around clothing, around income, around, you know, how we should be living and how we should be interacting. It's there every day in our story. And I guess minimalism has kind of helped me to remove myself a bit from that story, I guess, which in turn has led me on a bit of a path to self-discovery, I guess, which sounds weird, but for me personally, I've always struggled with my weight, always, since I can remember, and I can't remember like when I was very, very young, but I've always struggled. I've always felt inadequate. I've always felt like my weight is a reflection of my worthiness, of my capability, of my my place, I guess, in this world. And when I start to think about why that is, I think a lot of it is to do with, you know, fashion and marketing and clothing and the models that are in our media, and this unrealistic representation of what it actually means to be beautiful. It's just so unrealistic, you know. And so my whole life, clothing has been a lot of my emotional pain, you know, because I've always tried to put clothes on that will make me feel better about myself. So minimalism has made me directly think about separating clothing from my identity. So essentially, you know, I'm trying to visualize the fact that a naked body is the most beautiful body that anybody could have. A naked body is more beautiful than any label, any brand, any price, anything. It is more beautiful than anything you could ever put on your body. So for me, that has really liberated me. You know, I am my most beautiful without putting things on my body that I think, you know, are making me better or more valid in this space and in this society. So yeah, it's been emotional, and it's been really, I wouldn't say traumatic, but it's been really difficult getting rid of clothes and separating myself. You know, so many things in my wardrobe I was wearing but I wasn't comfortable in. So many things in my wardrobe I was wearing but they were just too small, but you know, in my mind I was thinking, well, they'll feel better once I've lost weight. So many things in my wardrobe I had there because they fit me when I was younger, and I liked to remember my body pre-babies and you know, adult life, which is where I put on the bulk of my weight, I guess. And I was holding on to items in order to hold on to memories, or you know, I would look at a lot of my wardrobe and there would be clothing that I would be putting on once I'd lost weight, which in itself was such a heavy burden to bear. You know, I'll wear those when I'm good enough to wear those, when in fact I'm actually good enough right now. So yeah, minimalism is a really interesting concept, and it's so different for every single person. You know, I've watched YouTube videos on minimalism, and some people only have, you know, you're only allowed 4 items. They have to be black and white, and your whole house has to be black and white. But for me, that's not my reality. You know, I live in colour. I live in colour, and I can still be on a path, on a journey of minimalism, I believe. So I think, you know, to not restrain yourself, put yourself into a box. And I think maybe that's where a lot of hesitation comes with people. Veganism, minimalism, sustainability, status, all of these things technically have boundaries and have boxes that you have to sit in if you want to class yourself as being along the framework of one of the concepts. And I just think, you know what, there actually aren't any boundaries, there aren't any frameworks. children live in a world of endless aria and endless wonder and endless bounds. You know, they don't define themselves within boxes, and why should we?
The stars and the rockets twinkling in the silvery night.